Repairs and Observations, Cochin, India. Did the turbos arrive? Pete calls out from across the water. Earthrace is entering Cochin Harbor, led by a dented wooden pilot boat. Rusty streaks show the location of ancient fastenings under dirty chipped paint. The crew stands on the open deck, steering from a crooked wheel mounted on a rusty post. Much of the aft tow rail has been broken off by some long-forgotten accident. Cummins sent the turbo today, and it's ready to install, I shout back from the deck of Rosa. Rosa is the flagship for the Malabar Yacht Club in Cochin, India. She is new, fresh, and not showing any rust. Dr. John uses the boat in the tourist trade. It is the first sailing yacht ever registered in India, and it is the only way that tourists visiting Cochin have a quiet sailing view of the city. The good news for the Earthrace team is the turbo has arrived. Cummins has again come to the Earthrace rescue. I have to say, the Cummins technicians around the world have been outstanding. They all seem to be highly trained and ready to work. The 5 technicians that showed up to Earthrace looked into the engine room and climbed right in. Now this may seem easy to say, but in reality, the Earthrace engine room is made for racing. That means it is as small as possible with the largest engine that could be jammed inside. Many engineers look inside the engine room and gasp. Some reject the small space and others the dirty conditions. The Cummins technicians from India looked inside the engine room and said, "This looks easy." It's a big job. Not the changing of the turbo. That took an hour, and we were done. But the jacking up of the starboard engine and moving the mounts is yet to be done. If you remember, Earthrace broke all her engine mounts on the starboard side. We're fixing that today. Malabar Yacht Club loaned us a hydraulic jack, and we use it to lift the engine. We block up the engine and pull the engine mounts. That was still the easy part. Finding a way to fix the old engine mounts is going to be the real challenge. In San Diego, we had to ship new engine mounts for the port side. It took ages, as the company kept next to no spare parts and had slow shipping. Now we are faced with the rebuilding of the starboard mounts. They are not meant to be rebuilt. But we're in India and don't have many options. We take the rubber and steel mounts out on the deck and examine them. The rubber seems reusable, but the steel studs are broken and crumpled. Flying through and off 15-foot waves for the last 6 days have taken their toll on the Earthrace drive system. In fact, we also found the main support across the front of the engine broke 3 of its 4 mounting bolts. That means the whole engine was hanging on one engine mount and one small bolt. If one more part had broken, the whole engine would have simply fallen into the bilge of Earthrace. It was another close call, but that is past. Now we have to devise a quick repair and get it done before the fuel arrives. Earthrace arrived on Sunday, and in India, most of the country is closed on Sundays. Machine shops, hardware stores, and workmen are not available. Of course, we have the Cummins technicians, but they are highly motivated and ordered directly by the headquarters of Cummins. We figure if we had new studs, we could fix the engine mounts on the spot. Right then, I see an Indian man in coveralls climbing aboard Earthrace. "Who are you?" I asked with keen interest. "My name is Rajan. That man said I could look at your boat." He is pointing at Ryan. "Yeah, no worries. But you are wearing coveralls. Are you an engineer?" I prod. He shakes his head in a long, sorrowful figure 8. "No, I'm just a deckman, but if you want, I can take you to our engineer." And he motions towards a 300-foot passenger ship tied up just behind Earthrace. I jump up and begin walking towards the boat. "Let's go," I command. "Yes, sir, but first I want to see the inside of your fine vessel." And he ducks below. 10 minutes later, we are searching through the pile of spare bolts in the bilge of the passenger ship. After a half-hour searching through the dirty buckets, paint cans, and bench shelves, we find 4 studs with the right threads, but a big, open, unthreaded area in the center of the shaft. They will almost work. I grab the pile and head for the gangway. "Thanks for the studs. Feel free to come over for a tour of Earthrace," I shout over my shoulder. "The crew, or me also?" the engineer asks. "Sure, the crew too. Thanks again," I say, leaving the ship. Pete eyes the stainless studs in my hands as I walk by. I swing around and hold out the shiny stainless bolts like a prize. "Look, these will work if we can figure out how to get the threads cut the rest of the way. I say, passing one over for inspection. Good job, mate. How do you plan on getting the threads cut? He says, grabbing the second stud from my hand. Funny, I was just hoping you would have some idea on that. Know how to run a lathe? I ask. Within a mile, we have 2 separate lathes we can use, if we only had the skills. We turn towards the 5 Cummins technicians. They live here. They should know how to get things done on a weekend. We need this turned on a lathe, and the threads run right to the bottom, I say, motioning with my fingers. Communication is very difficult. India has about 15 languages, and the Cummins techs speak about 5 between them. Only the supervisor speaks passable English. He nods. Yes, that'll be very easy. I can have all of them back by midday tomorrow. Today, I say flatly. Impossible. Nobody works today. I can have it done tomorrow, God willing. You must know someone who owns a machine shop, I say. Many, and they are all spending the day with their families. I turn away and call our agent. I need a lathe to turn a bolt for me. Any chance of getting it done today? No, none at all, he says in a rolling version of English. How about if we pay a tip? I beg. Nope. Tomorrow, and you won't have to tip. I hang up the phone just as a boatload full of drunken students comes past. They cheer Earthrace and pull up next to our stern. Hey, any of you ever drive a lathe, I ask? None of us, they all say, smiling and laughing while taking long swigs of beer. Know anybody who does? I continue. No, we're students, they say, giving another long cheer for Earthrace. Thanks, I say. I call Dr. John and explain our need for a lathe. He flatly tells me not to waste my time. I finally get the message. No lathe today. We pull 6 bags of trash off Earthrace and toss them up on the Cochin Port Pier. 5 minutes later, we stood back and got the first real view of the mess we had made. Let's throw all this trash into the skiff and dispose of it properly, I say with my best intentions. The skiff pulled up 30 feet below, and we reached for the trash bags. Stop! A police officer with a World War II rifle said, running up and blocking our path. It's just trash. We're cleaning the dock, Allison says, holding a stinking, dripping rubbish bag in one hand. You must have a letter to remove trash off the dock and an inventory of what is inside the trash bag, the officer says, crossing his arms, rifle hung loosely across his back. We all stand perfectly still. I try not to smirk. Look, mate, we just took the trash off the boat, and now we want to put it in the proper place, Ryan says, trying to contain his laughter. No letter, no stamp, no signature, no inventory, no moving trash, the guard says, turning his back on us. Okay, then, we'll leave the trash right here on your dock, Allison says, dropping the trash bag in the pile. I hear it land, making a splat sound, and wonder what we should list inside for the inventory. Right. Now where's that fuel? Pete says, climbing down from the pier. Last we heard, it was halfway here from some other state, I say. I hope this fuel makes it here. If not, we're in big trouble with this race, Allison says, wondering what John had arranged. Earthrace is the world's most high-tech powerboat. Take a trip with me around the planet as we try to break the round-the-world speedboat record. You can find the book Earthrace, First Time Around, available at lulu.com/yachtwork, lulu.com/yachtwork, or run a Google search, keyword Earthrace or Earthrace book. I hope you enjoyed the blog.